travel with the body.
Then he drives a vehicle capable of concealing one.
1 in 7.4 drivers in Seattle owns an SUV. Before his Son of Sam murders, David Berkowitz set a multitude of fires.
Exactly how much is a multitude?
According to his diary, 1,488. Moloch was the demon sun god of the Canaanites. In order to keep from incurring his wrath, the people would sacrifice their children to them by burning them alive.
Fair lady, throw those costly robes aside. No longer may you glory in your pride. Take leave of all your carnal vain delight.
I've come to summon you away this night. It's a ballad from the late 1600s, a dialogue betwixt death and a lady.
A 17th century ballad.
Yeah, essentially a woman begging death to live.
What kind of person knows this ballad? Are we looking for a literature professor?
Anyone with an internet connection, actually. Actually, there may be a physiological basis for it.
Don't ask.
Reversed asymmetry, monozygotic eggs split late, between 9 to 12 days. The DNA matches right down to the very last stranded code, but there's sporadic documentation of shared physiological pain.
And you believe it?
No, I'm just saying it's possible. I don't know everything. I mean, despite the fact that you think that I do.
I never said that. When have I ever said that?
Every day since I met you.
This morning at breakfast.
Yesterday when he beat you at cards. We've got 1 minute.
Anybody ever heard of sarcasm?
Actually, did you know that dentists and surgeons have been recruited to secretly implant these during otherwise normal medical procedures? This has been happening on and off since the late 1930s. Told me to believe. Melted wax?
Candle wax?
Candles are used in rituals.
Also used on birthday cakes.
Actually, they were originally used to protect the birthday celebrant from demons for the coming year. As a matter of fact, down to the 4th century, Christianity rejected the birthday celebration as a pagan ritual. 10% of all violent crimes are caused by strangulation. It only takes 11 pounds of pressure to fully incapacitate your victim, and if you hang on for at least 50 seconds, they'll never recover. It's a fact that there are 12 times as many broken families in the U.S. than in Mexico.
All right, so is it possible?
3 p.m. Hey guys, Garcia told me where to find you.
3 p.m.
It's medieval. The days used to be broken into hourly intervals, the canonical hours of the breviary. Prime, 6 a.m., terce, 9 a.m., sex, 12 noon, none, 3 p.m., and vespers, 6 p.m.
Reid, do not ever go away again.
Medieval, that's what.
That's only 1.6 miles from the last restaurant that he hit. I've been studying a lot of LA maps.
What's wrong?
Even though there are roughly 30 serial killers at large in the U.S. at any given time, it's an incredibly rare occurrence to have them operating in the same city.
How many times does that happen?
To my knowledge, 3 times. There was a guy killing at the same time as the Son of Sam, again in New Orleans, and most recently with the Phoenix murders. Statistically, 94% of all serial arsonists are male, 75% are white, and few, if any, are ever caught.
Few? You don't have a percentage?
16%, and those 16% set 30+ fires before they're ever apprehended. I'm trying to be more conversational.
Oh, it's not working.
The interchange between the 405 and the 101 freeways is consistently rated the worst interchange in the entire world.
Why do you know that?
It's a government report.
So what?
So you work for the government. What, you don't read the reports?
On traffic patterns in the city 2,500 miles from where I live.
2,295 miles.
Don't make me smack you in front of all these people.
I'm Brady, LAP. In fact, neural processing speeds reach their maximum at around age 15, so when it comes to being affected by crime scenes and other graphic visual input, we're all really the same age.
Reid.
Ooh. He's kicking a lot today.
In the 3rd trimester, there's an average of 30 fetal movements per hour. Babies kick to explore movement and strengthen muscle. No such thing. These machines run on random number generators. No brains, no bias. Best odds in the house, though.
Really? I thought that craps had the best odds.
Normally, video poker odds are slightly worse at 0.7% in your favor, but if you employ optimal strategy and always draw for the royal flush, you can push those odds to 2%.
And it's a sexist industry?
But for the most part, yeah, only 12% of arsonists are female.
Given the 500-mile search radius, there's bound to be a certain percentage of nuisance fires. We can't necessarily attribute that to our unsub.
That's true, but only 7% of arsonists use wooden matches with a gasoline accelerant. Our unsub in this guy. Nice work, Garcia.
How many cops are there in LA?
City or county?
You actually know the answer.
I know both answers.
Considering the wide divergence of abduction and dump sites, this guy could be anywhere. LA is over 500 square miles.
498.3.
Probably lives in or near the forest.
Unfortunately, Angeles National Forest is 1,016 square miles of terrain ranging in elevation from 1,200 and 10,064 feet.
Which...
You know, statistically, widowed men start dating much faster than females, but Hotch is refuting the data. It's been 2 years and 19 days. How old were you when you started listening to that band?
Probably a teenager. Why?
You know, 14 is when we start to make our own musical choices. Our cognitive development evolves at that age, and we start to form our own cultural identity. 2 8s instead of 1 could also be significant. I know in China, the number 8 symbolizes prosperity. The more 8s, the better. As a matter of fact, in Chengdu, a telephone number consisting of all 8s recently sold for over $250,000. He's most likely operating in one of the coastal cities. The victims were all staying in the metropolitan area, but their bodies were found near the ocean.
Do you know how big the California coastline is?
840 miles. Fortunately, it's more than that, though. Look, March 1st is St. Iketot Day. March 21st is the spring equinox, and the 24th is the Feast of the Beast, all important holidays in the satanic calendar for sacrifices.
What about the 11 on the end?
To many occultists, 11 is symbolic of Lucifer.
Okay, I thought we were moving away from satanic killings.
Apparently we need to reconsider.
There's got to be some sort of connection to the devil here.
Reid, what other upcoming days are significant to Satanists?
Good Friday, then Easter Eve, then preparations begin in mid-April for the most important holiday of all, Walpurgis Night on April 30th. Actually, depending on materials used, square footage and horizontal versus vertical construction, the average house only weighs about 60 tons. Actually, dragging is steeped in English history. Back in the 11th century, drawing and quartering was a common form of punishment. In fact, they would also disembowel and behead the victims when they were done with them. It's different, though. He's back in Griffith Park.
Coincidence?
Griffith Park spans 4,310 acres, making it one of the largest urban parks in all of North America. Given its sheer size, coincidence certainly is a possibility.
They cover everything. Texas is huge.
268,581 square miles to be exact. Largest state in the contiguous 48 and the second most populous. Don't mess with Texas. Factoring in a 3-mile radius in a city with a population of 636,479 over 48.28 miles, we're looking at approximately 39,549.23 people living in its comfort zone.
How many of them male?
18,944.08. There are 93 hotels in Las Vegas, 260 motels and inns, 1,510 bars, and 2,996 restaurants, not to mention nearby Summerlin, which is growing in popularity. Last year, Las Vegas documented 39,727,022 visitors.
No other place has better surveillance software. We need to start searching these tunnels.
That's the tricky part. There are 413 miles of them.
So it happened in mid-flight? The plane just fell out of the sky?
It's highly unusual. 80% of plane crashes happen within 3 minutes of takeoff or 8 minutes of landing.
One versus gown. It happens.
All the way back to the Battle of St. Scholastica Day.
Okay, I'll take the bait. What is the whatever it is that you just said?
The Battle of St. Scholastica Day? I'm glad you asked. Oxford University, 1335. Citizens attacked students and professors with bows and arrows. Fighting went on for 2 days and nearly 100 people were killed.
How many boats are there on Lake Mead?
1,908.
Come on, you just know that?
Yeah, there are 1,908 boats on Lake Mead.
Where'd you get that number?
Based on the population density of the area, I estimated.
Without the head, the body be a lot lighter.
Not necessarily. The average adult human head only weighs approximately 10 pounds. However, the Linda problem is an example of the conjunction fallacy, which happens when it's assumed that specific conditions are more probable than a single general one. Which means he'll profile like Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman, a born serial killer who's hired to be a mafia hitman.
Maybe one escaped or was abandoned and is living in the park.
A lot of places to hide. Central Park is 843 acres, including 58 miles of pedestrian paths, 36 bridges, 7 bodies of water, 6 miles of roads, and 5 miles of bridle paths. It's actually not an exaggeration. Research studies have shown that in the first 12 months of a child's life, parents sleep less than 59% of the recommended 8 hours a night, hence losing the equivalent of, on average, 50 nights of sleep.
Do you have any stats that might be able to help me?
Nope. Ate so many oysters, I'm pretty sure I have pearls growing in me.
More likely, what's growing inside of you is Vibrio vulnificus. It's a bacterial contamination caused by eating raw seafood. There's 52,000 cases a year in the United States alone.